Guys, welcome back to another Chanman's videos. I've had a couple hours, got off work now, and I've been playing around with the gear after unboxing it. Used my lunch hour and then fiddled around with it. And so here are some of the immediate impressions that I can share before having played a first game. And I'm going to start off with the pads. So the pads, again, are 33 plus 1.5, and I normally wear 32s. I have used 34s in the past, and they were okay, but my preference is 32s. The immediate difference when comparing the 7s and the 6s, you can probably see right there. Now I've used the brake here, and because of the lighting, actually let me see if I can change the lighting right now. Okay, yeah, because of the lighting it's harder to see the brake perfectly, but they're pretty much parallel and in line with each other. And what you see here is the 7s clearly stick out a bit longer than the 6s. So the toe is slightly longer. The flex down here is much softer than the 4s and a little bit softer than the 6s. As I go up, there's a break here in the 7s, and in the 4s and the 6 there is no break. And then at the top of the pads here, it's roughly just 1 inch higher. Okay, so that's the first visual difference with them standing flush side by side. And then I'm going to try to not move this too much, and I think the camera angle doesn't really show it. However, actually, I'm going to move the other pad. I'll just move this over, see if it captures better. Okay. So, I'm just going to slide this back slightly. So the front, again, is as flush as I can make it with one arm or one hand. And you're going to see here that there's not much difference in the knee padding at all. Just going to shuffle it, make it flat. That's the only difference. Not even half an inch, or just close to half an inch taller. So thus far, although the measurements are a 1 inch difference, it's on the front, the top and the bottom combined 1.5 inch difference. However, on the knee landing is about not even half an inch difference. Internally, just moving it out of the way. Internally, you do have this flat part here because I took the slide plate off. That's the same here. So you do have this protruding. For tonight, I'm actually going to leave these back straps on for the back of my knee. This calf wrap is slightly different. As you see, this is like a triangular wedge. And these are just 2 straps instead. So instead of 2 straps, there are 3 straps. This cushion here is removable, and it will cause your lower leg, like from your knees down, your calves and everything, and shin to sit higher, while that doesn't exist on the 4 or the 6. My biggest concern, actually, when I was evaluating, is how huge this pad here is. It's going to cause this to sit higher up on my skate and higher up on my thigh, which is a feeling I don't prefer compared to the 6s, and then compared to the 4. Actually, the 4 is thick, but it's thick actually. Almost as thick as the 7, but just not as wide. What else is there? I took these two off because I'm using these straps. I hate having to take these off. They're so hard to remove. And I put my zap straps back on. I put zap straps on all of my pads. And that's because I find this, by default, cinches a bit too tight. And so I don't get the length that I prefer in my skates. So I haven't adjusted this at all to move it closer, but we'll see how it feels tonight. What else? Oh, I put zap straps on the side because I have a carabiner and a strap that I just hook on. I carry it over my shoulders. And that's the first impressions of the pads. I'm going to move over to the blocker and catcher. Okay, so in regards to the blockers, this is 7. This is a 6.1. And 6.1s are supposed to have a bigger curve. What I've noticed putting these two together, there really isn't. It's very subtle, almost not noticeable at all. Sorry, it's hot. And I'm moving around a lot. Yeah, I mean, just putting the two side by side, the 7 doesn't feel that much flatter, or the 6.1 doesn't feel like it's got that much more of a slope. Very subtle. You do see a subtlety, but not that much. And then, in comparison to the 4, so these two should be, again, I mean, look at how much more of a curve the 4 has. So, I guess over the 4, 5, 6, and 7s, they just changed the slope a little bit more. Everything else on the back side feels the same. I've hooked everything to the same buckles and rings and more rings and everything. So that's pretty much the only difference. Brand new, so this is definitely going to feel thicker. Oops. And then with the catcher, as I was saying originally, I felt that this looked and felt shallow. There should be differences between the two. I'm just going to move this back a little bit. Because the 7.1 is supposed to be a longer catching surface versus the 6, and it's supposed to be wider. So you just see a larger pocket. So that's just the way it's designed. Again, the 7.1 has a longer surface going down toward the finger, while the 7s and the 6.0s have a longer thumb. And then in comparison to the 4s, they are almost identical. Almost. Just, visually different, but they feel the same. The double T and the single T, this is very rigid. I can't get this thing down, man. This thing is really hard, especially this one. But because it's a double T, I can flex that down. Feeling on the inside, very similar. Feels like, again, when I was closing it, I'm using more of the strength of these two fingers, my two fingers here and my thumb, versus the 90 where I get a full palm. But being brand new out of the box, so I have to shift my fingers back up higher and out of the glove. If I push it in further, I can't close it as well. But if I shift my fingers out slightly, again, just very, very much these fingers pinch it together. With the 7, when the 7 came brand new, I guess maybe a lot of people played with it in the store. Was actually feeling very good, and actually even now with my 4s, because I rotate them through, I can't actually clap that at all. Alright, so that is my first impressions and comparison for the Warrior Rituals, comparing 4, 6.1, and 7. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. I will be playing with the 7s tonight. Maybe Friday, I don't know. But yeah, today is Tuesday the 23rd. I bought them yesterday from Source for Sports London, and they overnight couriered it to me at no extra cost. Great job, guys. Thanks so much, Kevin at Source for Sorts in London. Again, any questions? Give me a message. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video, guys.